Welcome to Viewpoint on Ukraine today. This month, Ukraine marks 2 years since the first protesters were murdered during the pro-EU uprising in central Kyiv, known as the Maidan. The unrest forced Ukraine's former president Viktor Yanukovych to flee to Russia. But with little progress in the investigation, victims' families are skeptical they will ever see justice. Joining us is Mr. Markian Halabala. He's representing some of the families of the killed protesters in court. Welcome to Viewpoint.
Hello.
So, can you give us a short progress report on what has been done?
Well, there is a kind of progress in those investigations because prosecution got new proof that some of the victims have been killed by the precise and concrete firearms that were registered by on the policemen. So now they're gonna receive those proofs that some victims have been killed by that very policeman, and it's a kind of progress. There is also the progress that 3 policemen from Berkut unit, their cases have been submitted to the court. So the investigation, pre-investigation by the General Prosecutor Office has been finished, and their cases is going to be submitted to the court. We are talking about 3 people, and one of them is their chief, Yanukovych. So it's
the chief of this special security.
This unit, Berkut, yes.
And also in this report, it says that some of these protesters, they were shot at short range. 20 or 50 meters.
Yeah, absolutely. We are talking about those guys who have been killed on 22nd of January.
Yes.
Nihoyan, Senik, and the third one. The situation is that, yeah, it's very strange that they have been killed with the guns from the distance, very close distance, 3 meters. Yeah, and prosecution, investigating officials have no video shoots that those using of those guns was done by the Berkut, by the policemen in uniform. So they have doubts if that was done by the policemen in the uniform. So maybe it was done by the policemen that were dressed like the civil people or like protesters. So unfortunately, these very crimes regarding the killing on 22nd of January 2014 are not solved, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Also in the report, if I can just quote it for you, they say that they stormed a first aid kind of point, which was set up on the Maidan, and this was done to contaminate, to destroy the evidence.
Absolutely, absolutely. There was a kind of emergency medical point on Maidan, very close to the place where it was happened. It's a European square in Kyiv city. Yeah, and when Berkut tried to begin their attack, they also destroyed this very point and destroyed the evidences. But one of the protesters who have been killed on 22nd of January, it's a Mr. Senik, the bullet was found in his body. And it was the bullet that is used by the police units to stop the cars. It's a huge bullet and very heavy, and he was killed by that very bullet. And
so
the
it's
same
a very
like
specific firearm which was used.
Absolutely, it is used only by the police. Just the third of the protesters who was killed on 22nd of January was killed by the bullet that is used during the hunting. Yes. But in any case, those bullets, the first one that I have mentioned before, and also this bullet that is used during hunting, can be shot from the gun that were used by the police on 22nd of January, because there are photos and videos when the police use those firearms during those events on Hrushevskoe Street and European Square.
Mm-hmm. And as well, some reports suggest that there's a lot of resources lacking to do more in the investigation and to perhaps bring those responsible to justice and to do more analysis on these firearms and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely right. When there was a meeting with President Poroshenko on the, it's, as far as I remember, it was on the maybe last year on November, and those issues, those problems have been used during this meeting, and he promised that he will help to try to get more money for funding the investigation, and we believe that it will be happen. For example, in this year, the number of investigators who are engaged in the process of investigation of those crimes will be more. Yeah, they will get more money and more, maybe technical equipment to develop the investigation in a more quick and effective manner.
I see. Now, there's also some reports from civil society activists which suggest that there's been stalling and even blocking of the investigation coming from within the General Prosecutor's Office.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, it's happening on it's happening on the high level, you know. So for sure we know that this unit in General Prosecutor Office that is responsible for this investigation, we believe in them. But they got some obstacles for investigation from the high officials of General Prosecutor Office, and they got some obstacles on investigation in courts. We want to get some warrants. To start some investigation actions, you gotta receive the court warrant.
So there's been problems with getting warrants to arrest?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And there are problems regarding also coordination and communication with the police, because to start some kind of investigation actions, the first steps shall be taken by the police, you know, because to get some information and so on, the requests are submitted to this police, and they are ignored by the police, unfortunately. So it's not so easy to investigate those crimes, because a lot of people who were engaged in Maidan, protesters, murders, or some other events, are still working in their cabinets, and so it's not so easy to do.
I see. Now, what are your clients, the families of the victims, what do they say about the progress, about what kind of sense do you get from them?
All of them are dissatisfied because the high officials that mostly organize those crimes are not in custody, are not under investigation. They escape, and they are in the Russia Federation on the Crimea. So, and it's the main point, it's the main issue why they are not satisfied with the investigation. But they see also the kind of progress regarding those guys who are in custody, whose case have been submitted to the court. So, and it's sometimes it helps. So, you know, it's 50-50.
So, good luck with the court cases. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
This has been Mr. Markian Halabala. He's representing some of the families of the killed protesters in court. You've been watching Viewpoint on Ukraine Today.